I love Mexican food, and Mexican food is one of the things that you can really easily make vegan or vegetarian. So today I have some mushrooms that I'm going to use and some kale, and kale's really good for you. We're going to make some enchiladas. Let's make some enchiladas. Okay, just because these enchiladas are going to be vegetarian doesn't mean that they aren't going to be tasty. So like I said in some of my previous videos, you can make things have more veggies in them so you can get more nutrition, and you can trick yourself by putting veggies in places that you wouldn't expect. So enchiladas are a great way to get some extra added veggies in as well. So what we're going to do first is we're going to pack these with a lot of flavor and seasoning so that they can be extra tasty. So we're going to start off by chopping up some onion and some garlic. I'm just going to chop this up, and this is what we're going to use to make our enchilada sauce. So I'm going to make my enchilada sauce from scratch, and that's a way that you can control the flavoring for your sauce so that it can be, taste to your tasting, to your liking. And you can control like the amount of sodium and the amount of, any other ingredients that go into it. So making your own sauces is a good way to go for flavor and for nutrition and health. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get all of this chopped up, and then we're going to put everything into our blender to start our sauce beginnings. Okay, I've added to my Ninja here about half of a medium-sized onion that I chopped up and 4 cloves of garlic. So our garlic and onion is all chopped up and minced and added to our mixer now, our Ninja. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add half of a 28-ounce can of tomatoes. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those into the mixer as well. We're going to use this to blend up our ingredients for the sauce before we saute it on the stove. I'm also going to add to this about a tablespoon of tomato paste, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour. We're going to just mince all this up together in the Ninja, and then we're going to use it in our pan for our sauce. Okay, our onions, tomato, garlic, and flour are all nice and pureed together. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add this to our pan, pan that's been preheating. We're going to add this to the pan, saute it for a few moments, and we're going to season it up. And then we're just going to let it reduce down a little bit to form our enchilada sauce. Let's go ahead and season up our sauce. We're going to add some garlic powder, some chili powder, some cumin, some oregano, some red pepper flake for spice. This is optional, but I really recommend it. Just a pinch of cinnamon, and just a little salt and pepper. Alright, our enchilada sauce has been going for about 10 minutes now. It's nice and thickened. That's the reason we added the flour into it in the Ninja. So now that it's pretty much done, we're just going to add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. This is just to help to bring out some of the flavors in the sauce. And you don't have to add it if you don't want to, but it will definitely add a little something to your sauce. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to turn the heat off and just let it sit. That was a half teaspoon measure, that's why I added 2 of those. We're just going to mix this in, let it sit, and while this is resting, we're going to go ahead and we're going to chop up our mushrooms so that we can saute all that up for our filling. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and prepare our filling for the enchiladas. Now remember I said this is going to be a vegetarian enchilada, so I have here some kale that's going to be part of our filling. This is an organic Tuscan kale. You can use any type of kale that you want. The great thing about it is it's already washed and ready to use, so I'm just going to pick through it a little bit just to make sure there's not anything else in it that's a surprise, and then we're going to go ahead and use that. I'm also going to chop up some onion and garlic that's going to go in this as well to add more flavor because we want these to be very flavorful. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to chop up some mushrooms. Now these mushrooms are dirty. You need to clean your mushrooms before you cook them. So the way that you clean mushrooms is you don't want to run them under the water, because if you run them under water, mushrooms soak up whatever liquid they come into contact with. So if you run these in the water, they're going to get swollen with water, and you don't want that. So the way that you clean a mushroom, you take a damp paper towel that you moisten with water, and we're just going to rub the mushroom with the paper towel to get all of the dirt and gunk off of it. You want to just make sure you thoroughly clean it with your paper towel. I like to switch the paper towels up because I feel like they get extra dirty. See all the dirt that's coming off? You just want to make sure that you thoroughly clean this mushroom, otherwise it's going to be kind of dirty, and you don't want dirt in your food, do you? So we're just going to do that for each one of them. I have about 7 mushrooms. You don't want too many because you don't want to make too much filling. So for me, I like to take the stems off of the mushroom because these are kind of tough to me. So what I do is I just twist it like this and then pull the stem out. And then I don't eat that part. Some people eat the stem, I just don't. So then after you clean your mushroom and you pull the stem out, we're just going to chop it up. I just do it like this a few times, crossways, and then I turn it and I crossway it this way because I like mine to be in like little cubes like that. So that's it. And then we're just going to do this with all the mushrooms. We're going to do this. We're going to mince our garlic and chop up our onion, and then we're going to season this and saute it in our pan. All right. Okay, I have another pan here, and I have my onions, mushrooms, and kale in this pan. I'm just sauteing it a little bit until the kale and mushrooms kind of wilt down a little bit until the onions get nice and soft. So we're just going to saute this up, then I'm going to add the garlic last. And I'm going to season this pretty simply. I'm just going to use some of my homemade taco seasoning that I've made. This is just my special blend of spices that I like for taco seasoning. I'm going to add some of that in there. And then just a little salt and pepper. And that's it. Then we're just going to let this cool down a little bit. And we're going to use it in our fill. This is our filling. We're going to put it in our tortillas, and we're going to use that to make our enchiladas. We're going to layer it in the pan. Alright guys, we're almost done. Alright, our filling is nice and cooked now. We've let it cool down a little bit, so now we're going to layer our enchiladas. So I'm going to set that to the side. I have a tortilla here, and I've taken our casserole dish, and I've layered some of that enchilada sauce that we made in the bottom of it. Now we're going to roll up our tortillas with the mixture. I'm just going to take this is going to make about 6 of these. So we're just going to take some of our filling, put it on here, on the tortilla. Then we're just going to fold it in half and then fold it over. And then we're just going to take our dish that has our sauce in it, and we're just going to layer them in there like that. So we're going to do that with all of the tortillas. Then we're going to put these we're going to cover it with the rest of the sauce and some cheese, and then we're going to put it in the oven. I already preheated the oven to 375 degrees. We're going to cook them in there for about 15 minutes just to get them all cooked through and to allow the cheese to melt. Alright guys, almost done. Okay, the enchiladas are now covered with sauce and some cheese. We're going to now put it in our 375 degree preheated oven, and we're going to let these cook, like I said, for about 15 minutes, and then they're going to be nice and bubbly and cooked through and ready to go. Alright guys, enchiladas are finished. Let's make a plate. Add your enchiladas, fancy it up with some parsley. And we're done. This smells so good. This looks really good. This is a kale and mushroom enchilada. Kale is really good for you. It's packed full of lots of nutrients, lots of vitamins. Really great for you. And this is a good way to get it in. If you don't really like kale, I think that you will like this because it's very well seasoned. And then the mushrooms almost kind of act as like a meat substitute. A lot of people who eat meat, there's something on my beard. A lot of people who eat a lot of meat substitutes, who don't eat a lot of meat substitutes like fake meats, they'll eat like a lot of mushrooms. So I think you should definitely give it a try. Let's give it a taste now. I love kale. It's one of my favorite vegetables. Alright, bon appetit. It's hot. But it's really good. Making your own enchilada sauce is really easy and really tasty. This is really delicious. That sauce is so good. The kale and the mushrooms are nicely seasoned. Really awesome. You should definitely give this a try, guys.